Aston Villa. We need to talk about Unai Emery's Aston Villa. I don't think I have been more wrong about a football team in my life. And that's quite strange for me. Not that I'm afraid to admit when I'm wrong, but I'm a big fan of Unai Emery. I watched the business they did in the summer. I looked at the fact that they had Europa League football again. But what they've done this season is truly remarkable. They have put themselves in the mix. Now, whether you think they are, whether you think they're not in a title race, mathematically, they are only 3 points off the top of the Premier League. They have won 9 games in a row. 9 games in a row. They are on the best current form in the Premier League. They're doing very well in the Europa League. They've beaten City, Spurs, Arsenal this season. They've only lost 1 game at Villa Park all year in the Premier League, which was against Crystal Palace. Bearing in mind, this Aston Villa team didn't score for the opening 3 matches. I believe at this moment in time, they are the 3rd best team in the league. The way they're playing, the clean sheets they're keeping, the attitude that Unai Emery has installed within those players to have a never say die attitude. And I've been a big fan of Unai Emery. I wanted this guy at Spurs after Poch left. I saw the job he did at Villarreal. I saw the Europa Leagues he won with Sevilla, the league title with PSG. First year at Aston Villa, gets them into the Conference League latter stages, then gets them Champions League football for a long, long time. And at this moment in time, I think Aston Villa are better than they were 2 years ago when they actually first got into the Champions League under Unai. Morgan Rodgers right now is playing the best football of his career. Ollie Watkins, who was written off, back amongst the goals. Matty Cash has scored important goals this season. Yuri Tillemans was fantastic against Arsenal, against that midfield. One of the best passers in the Premier League at the moment. They are flying on all cylinders. They haven't even got their first choice goalkeeper playing. 2-1 down against West Ham, come back. Right now, what Unai is doing with this Villa team, what Aston Villa are doing, the performances, it's absolutely remarkable. To play Thursday night, go again, win on Sunday. Beat Brighton 4-3. Beat Villa beat Arsenal 2-1. Beat Basel 2-1. Beat West Ham 3-2. Beat Wolves 1-0. They beat City in there as well. They beat us at our ground. Well, pretty much everyone has. They battered Bournemouth 4-0. Beat Leeds away 2-1, which is a difficult ground to go to. They look right now a team that is completely buying into their manager's philosophy. And right now, they're my pick to win the Europa League. And I definitely think they are 100% in the race for the title mathematically. Whether they fall off towards the end because they might not necessarily have the squad depth, who knows? But make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and make sure you do hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. This is Villa's Europa League form. 6 games, 5 wins, one loss, 10 goals, 4 conceded. Fenerbahce up next. The Europa League this year it's very close. Very, very close. 2 points between 8th and 1st. And there are some decent teams in there. Stuttgart won their last 3. Fenerbahce, we played them last year in the Europa League. And bearing in mind, Unai Emery's won this competition 4 times. But I back them to win it this year. Their current form has to be spoken about. It really, really does, because I want to show you their last 9 games. If this was Man City, if this was Liverpool, this was Arsenal, this is Chelsea, everyone would be going ballistic. 2-0 against Maccabi Tel Aviv, 4-0 against Villa, 2-1 against Leeds, 2-1 against Young Boys, 1-0 against Wolves, 4-3 against Brighton, 1, 2, 3. That's 6 games. in a row. Before that, beat us, beat City, narrowly lost to go-ahead Eagles, and they lost to Liverpool. Beat Arsenal, beat Basel, beat West Ham. Their fixtures they've got coming up, they are tough. But I actually fancy them to beat United and Chelsea. I think Arsenal probably will get revenge. But then I fancy them to beat Forest, Palace. And listen, at the moment, I don't even know if we're going to turn up for that game. That is a tough run of games. I'm not going to lie. Palace away is always tough. And they've got 4 of the so-called Big 6 in the next 8 or 9 games. But more importantly, I want to look at this West Ham game. Right? 3-2 away at the London Stadium. Morgan Rodgers. We've got to speak about this guy. This was the lineup they played. Maatsen, who's got a new lease of life under Unai. Lindelof, who was written off at Manchester United. Konsa, who, in my opinion, Konsa and Gahey are the 2 best England centre-halves we've currently got. Cash, Kamara has been really good. Onana has been very good this year. Tielemans, fantastic. Watkins, McGinn, and Rodgers. Rodgers, for me, is my favourite player at Villa. I think he has got one hell of a career ahead of him. I really, really do. If they can keep him fit and firing, and if they can keep him injury-free, I think they've got one hell of a player on their hands. 5 goals this season in the Premier League and has been very, very, very good. Been linked to a move away so many times throughout the transfer windows. So he's got 8 goal contributions in 16 in the Premier League, 2 in 6 in the Europa League, and so he's got 10 goal contributions this season, which is a very, very good return. And Watkins, who was written off by me, by plenty of others this season, not going to perform. He's been good the last few games. Only got 3 goals this season, but the last couple, he's actually shown a bit of fight, a bit of determination, a bit of spirit, and now he's kind of showing glimpses of the Ollie Watkins from last year. Now, the Premier League title is between a lot of it between Arsenal and City. If Villa hang on there until March, I think they'll get top 4. I think the top 4 at the moment will be those 4 teams. You can't write off Liverpool at the moment. I don't think United will get there. But if 5th gets Champions League again, I think it most likely will be Liverpool and that 4 above. But look at Aston Villa. 25 goals, 17 conceded, 8 goal difference, 5 wins in a row, 5 points clear of Chelsea, who play Newcastle away next. If Villa beat Man United, who play tonight, right, and Chelsea slip up against Newcastle, they could potentially be 8 points clear of Chelsea. Now, look, there's a long way to go in this season, but the credit that Unai Emery deserves, he deserves massive, massive praise. Massive praise. He really, really does. He is one hell of a manager. I don't care how you want to twist it. He really, really is. But I want to look back to the beginning of the season, the very, very beginning of the season, where they drew to Newcastle, lost to Brentford, lost to Palace, drew to Everton. They didn't score a goal for 4 games. They then got knocked out by the League Cup by Brentford. So 5 games without a win. Then they drew with Sunderland, 6 games without a win. They won in the Europa League. First win of the season was against Fulham, Feyenoord, Burnley, and Bologna. 4 wins in a row. Then they beat us, lost to go-ahead Eagles, beat City, lost to Liverpool, and then they have gone on an unbelievable run. That isn't an overnight thing. That isn't just lucky results. Unai Emery is an elite gaffer. You know, look at his CV. You don't win 4 European trophies if you're a poor manager. And bearing in mind, he's been at Villa since, I want to say, is it 2022? 24? I think it's 22. Yeah. Took over Steven Gerrard, I think, 2022. What a job he has done, by the way. If they go and beat Man United, I don't know why, but I've got a feeling they beat Chelsea. If they do beat Chelsea and Chelsea drop points against Newcastle, they could be 10 points clear. And Chelsea without Champions League is a big concern. We know he's got Mikel Arteta's number. They're very much a confident side right now. If they beat Man United and Chelsea, they will be so up for it against Arsenal. Then the next 3 fixtures at Villa Park. I mean, they've got a lot of away games, haven't they? They've got 4 away games in the next 6. I fancy them to beat us, and I fancy them to beat Palace. I really, really do. Palace have got to play a lot of football between now and then. They've got Conference League. There's only 2 days between their Conference League game and against Leeds. I fancy Villa. Every game they're going into right now, they're just playing with confidence. They're playing with huge, huge confidence. And bearing in mind, they're playing without their number 1 goalkeeper. They're playing with Bizot in goal. Martinez is out injured and Pau Torres is out injured. That's 2 of their, back 5 when you look at the back 4 and the goalkeeper. But Lindelof's coming in, done a really good job. Matty Cash is having a fantastic season. Maatsen, really, really good so far. Villa fans, it's going to be an interesting season. A really, really interesting season. I don't necessarily think they've got huge quality on their bench. I like Digne. I've liked him since he was at Everton. Buendia, of course, scored the winner against Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. Malin has got quality. He scored quite a few goals this season. But if they add a couple of players in January, if they go out there and spend 50, 75, 100 million, someone like a Semenyo, and you've got Watkins, Rodgers, and Semenyo as your front 3, that's as good as anyone's in the leagues right now. 100% that's as good as anyone's. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. I'm out.